the book. Well, would you like to sign the book, please, before we
Yeah,
start?
that's what
We would.
get the
Evening all. How are you doing?
Good to see you.
And you?
Which one you want? That one?
That one.
get the pecuniary book, please.
As
As
well.
well.
How you doing, Turkey?
I'm not bad. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Good, good.
Yeah. No point being otherwise, is there?
Can I just ask that everybody else to sign the book, please? While we wait for Phil and Victor. Thank you.
With you, David?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm done.
What's the date? 13.
14.
14.
I'm done.
Thank you. Right, good evening everybody. I'd just like to welcome everybody here and thank you very much for coming. I'm Sue Nair, for those people who don't know me. I'm the Vice Chairman. Sam Skinner, the Chairman, is away on holiday. So it's my lucky duty to chair the meeting for the first time I've done it. So you'll have to bear with me, I'm afraid. It's all a bit new. So first of all, do we have apologies for absence, please?
We do. I've got Councillor Hughes, Councillor Skinner, obviously. I've just been informed of Councillor Lloyd Blackwell and Councillor Atkins, all accepted.
Madam Chair, I've had a message from Saturday that Squadron Leader Geary will give his apologies as well.
Yes, he
Yes.
told me as well.
Mhm.
Yes.
Noted that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, thank you. Next point, declaration of interest. I presume, as we've said, everybody signed the book, as we have. Yes. So we have no report from Squadron Leader Geary. As Victor has just said, he has given his apologies. I believe he had another remembrance, a service to attend to today. Move on to point 4. To receive, confirm and sign the minutes of the meeting held on Monday the 10th of October. Do I have a proposer, please?
I'll second.
All right. So
Was it
that was
Phil?
Phil.
Phil and Penny.
Lovely, thank you. Vote. All
Vote, please.
Dave?
So,
Point 5, matters arising, please. Any matters arising?
Um,
I have a question for Councillor Whiteman. On the previous minutes, you were talking about a speed watch. You've been on a course to see about speeding. I was wondering if you've made any progress at all with speed watch or...
it wasn't a course chair, vice
Oh.
chair. It was a meeting with numerous councillors, town councillors and superintendents.
Yes.
Just informed them what we can and can't do,
Yeah.
and I hasn't gone any further than that yet.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes.
Regarding, will Councillor Palmer be mentioned about the blood people from the High Street helping out with Berry Road doctors? Will that be in your report?
Councillor Palmer?
Yes,
It will.
yes, I'll give you an update, yes.
Okay, right.
I'd like to also ask Councillor Palmer about in his previous meeting he mentioned some abandoned cars along the Bury Road and whether you had any progress removing them.
Right, that's in the hands of DLVA at the moment.
Right.
That
Can you
was,
speak up, please?
okay, that's in the hands of the DLVA and the flagship stroke Sandfire Homes reported to that abandoned car to them, and that's in DLVA's domain at the moment until they get back to flagship. And if they get back to flagship, say that's not registered or not insured, then flagship are going to take it away. But until they get back, they can't.
Right, any other matters arising? No? So next point, six is urgent business. Any items the chairman thinks is a matter of urgent business, submitted no less than 48 hours prior to the meeting. I have a matter is that I would just like to thank Councillor Whittam and Councillor Kaniak for their wreath laying services over the weekend. I'd like to thank Councillor Whittam for laying the wreath at the Rose Garden on Saturday in Bury St Edmunds, and Councillor Lukaniak for laying the wreath on stand yesterday.
Two
Yeah,
wreaths, I've answered.
Beg your pardon, 2 wreaths from Councillor Lukaniak yesterday. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I don't think I have any other urgent business. Now to receive the written report from the town clerk. I understand that's in your pack, in our written material we received. Would anybody like to comment upon it at all? Yes.
Could I just ask a question? I was actually speaking with Ali today, and she was mentioning about the scissor lift and saying that they can't use it in the high street. Was it expected to be used in the high street or
Yes,
not?
it was.
Because it's not licensed for the road.
She hasn't said that to me.
Yeah, and apparently it's not licensed for the road or registered, and it would need to, but must, by blocking the pedestrian way by parking it on the pavement. And
We've got permission for it to be parked on the pavement.
yeah, but getting it there and back is the other query. So I did say I'd just mention it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, she hasn't
So-
said anything to me. So.
I think perhaps you need to have a chat with Ali about it, because there's quite a few problems with it.
Are there?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that. So.
No,
I think did explain.
she was not happy.
No, she
No,
wasn't.
no. So I did. I'll just raise it, and no doubt it can be
Okay,
resolved.
I've been told about it. So.
Yeah.
I'll make a note.
Any other comments about the town clerk's report at all? No? Right. Well, we'll move on then. Point 8 is the public forum. It says monthly event limited to 3 minutes duration, maximum per resident. This includes reports from the county, district and town councillor. So I'd like to start
But hang on,
with...
we need to
I beg your pardon.
to the meeting, so we need to propose.
Proposer?
Second.
Sorry.
Vote, please. Yeah, okay, thank you.
So could I ask Councillor Lukaniak as county councillor, please, to report?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I will take the opportunity to thank the British Legion, Gary Brocklehurst, Brandon Town Council for organising yesterday's Remembrance Day. That all went like clockwork, and I was delighted to see all the grand staff there, and Graham was there as well to mark their respects. That's the good news. The bad news is that for Brandon there will be no development now for the foreseeable future. West Suffolk Council Planning Department, they've told us they're not expanding the local plan. So basically our new local plan will be like the old local plan. Basically because of the stone curlew and position natural England are with that. So I mean, we were led up the garden path there. There was a call for sites. They encouraged district councillors to sign people up for expanding the local plan, and in the end they refused it. Complete red herring that was. That's not good news for the 460 people who are on the housing list. There'll be no contribution from developers. There'll be no community hall. There'll be no toilets in the high street. There'll be no money to restore the station, and where they're going to get the money from the skate park from, I don't know. I mean, as councillors, we've got a responsibility to try and house people. Shame on West Suffolk Council, and I hope I get quoted on that.
Ditto.
Point two, and I will be brief, Madam Chair, because I am aware of the time this evening. The overhanging branches, I've had several complaints of the overhanging branches on the Bury Road opposite 2826 Bury Road. I have reported that, Graham. I'll give you the number, the reference number tomorrow. I didn't bring it tonight. That will be seen to. Madam Chair, that concludes my county report.
Thank you.
Yes. Phil?
Good evening, everybody. I too would like to thank everybody involved in the wonderful Sunday Remembrance Parade following on from Councillor Lucanet. It was a wonderful thing and it went like clockwork and very good. I will move on to street lighting. Now, whether people are aware or not, and I think most are, under the old Forest Heath and the St Edmundsbury, Forest Heath paid less in council tax, but the councils in the Forest Heath area paid for large parts of their own street lighting, whereas people in the St Edmundsbury area do not and did not. Now, when the amalgamation came three and a half years ago with Forest Heath and St Edmundsbury Borough joining together to form the new West Suffolk District Council, the decision was made that over a 7-year period there would be raises over and above on rates in council tax. And I'll say Brandon, but when I say Brandon, I mean the whole of Forest Heath. In Brandon, that would bring it up to a level the same as the old St Edmundsbury Borough area. In their infinite wisdom, they shortened this period to 3 years, and we are now paying exactly the same council tax as do people in Bury St Edmunds, like for like on property banding. Now the problem with that is that we, in excess of that, are paying for our street lighting over and above that council tax, which means that it's not parity at all. It is quite disparity. It's quite disgusting, I think, that we should be in one of the most deprived areas or towns in the whole of the area, the West Suffolk area, now paying more, in effect, than people do in the middle of Bury St Edmunds. We made this clear 3 years ago that we wanted parity. Every time I have asked in chamber, I have been assured, yes, by this autumn, now 2022, that they will resolve that problem. Yep, so what did they do? Produce a street lighting report for Cabinet. Lots of waffle, but in the end what they are doing is kicking that can of worms down the road for another year at least. So no parity. Councillor Palmer, myself and Councillor Lucaniak attended the Cabinet and made it quite plain that we were less than happy, that I was personally angry because I had been effectively lied to in chamber at the West Suffolk District Council. We are currently fighting, but they have approved their cabinet meeting and disregarded what we have said, and they are kicking the can down the road for another year at least. Today I started, and one of the other councillors from the Forest Heath area started a campaign to get all of their figures and to put proposals forward that would balance the situation. It's not just that we pay for the street lighting and the repairs and replacements and the electricity. We are not able to afford to upgrade a lot of our lamps to low energy LEDs. Large parts of the old St Edmundsbury area have been upgraded. So double disadvantage. we are working on it. That is all I can say. But I can only say I am absolutely disgusted with the West Suffolk Council. And
That's it, mate.
that's it. Yeah, and that's it. I will keep you updated on that. Thank you.
Councillor Vant?
Did they give you any reason, or just say, or they just say shan't?
It's all in there. You're welcome to have a copy and share.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was the report they did for Cabinet.
But did they give an excuse?
Oh, but they will look at it.
I got
I mean, that was what I said.
I got the impression they couldn't be bothered, and politically that'd be quite sensitive for them.
Well, politically it's quite sensitive because they're a Conservative leading majority in the town, in the council, and they've got elections next May. Whatever they do is going to be unpopular. If they do nothing, it's going to be unpopular here, and they think perhaps that's the least problem because Brandon is already 3 independent councillors, so they're not going to lose a seat here. But believe you me, they will across the rest of the Forest Heath area on that basis. If they make a change, say for argument's sake they transfer the support for street lighting from their area with Suffolk County to this area for a 3-year period, because don't forget we've already had 3 years of this disparity, that would balance things up and we'd be happy with that. But hey, if Haverhill, Berrytown, Clare and all those places in between parish councils suddenly have to start paying for their street lighting in addition, instead of spending that money on their communities, which they do, they're not going to be a very popular party over there either. So they have left it 3 years, they've left themselves between a rock and a hard place. But remember who did it. It was the Conservative majority of the West Suffolk District Council. So remember that next May. They're the ones that have shafted Brandon yet again.
Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Whitton.
My pleasure.
Councillor Palmer, please, your report.
Right, street lighting. Andrew Neal, independent councillor from Millwall, and myself have been working on this.
Excuse me, could I just, would you mind speaking up a bit?
Okay. Councillor Neal from Mildenhall, representing Mildenhall, and myself have been working on the streetlight issue for the last 2 years. We collated all the information, including the Freedom Information Request. We've got information charts, details and everything else. And we presented our statement to the Cabinet last week. In addition to that, Victor Lucanic put his statement forward and Phil Whitman put his statement forward. And yes, that has been deferred until 2023. But Phil said he's going to get everybody a report, an update, so I will leave it to him to do it. On that, I've got pages and pages of information on it, but I would imagine he's got all the same. The second thing is the weekend, Remembrance Weekend. Of course, everybody, all our councils, or majority of the councils were in the square on Friday afternoon, which was very, very nice. And then on Saturday, Council Mechanic, Phil Whitman himself and Sue Anir attended the Remembrance event at the Rose Garden at Bury St Edmunds. And then on Sunday, I attended the Remembrance Parade in Bury St Edmunds and laid the wreath on behalf of Brandon Town Council. I did that at the request of our chairman, Sam Skinner. That's why I wasn't at the Remembrance Parade in Brandon. So I apologise, I can't be two places at once. Philanthropy service, yep, I've heard back from the local government, and I've heard back, and they, some of the things they've told me, other people have told me different. They can't find anybody to do the blood tests easily. Well, I don't think that's quite true, because I found somebody in 5 minutes. They quite capable of doing it. or qualified to do it. So, but I'm working on it and will continue to work on it. I'm working on 3 issues in Bury, 2 in Bury Road and 1 in Devon Lane at the moment, the flagship. None of them have been resolved, but they're all being worked on, and I will keep the council updated as to their progress. One's a wall falling down, one's a car that's already been mentioned, and the other one is parking problems in a flagship car park. Don't think there's anything else.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Has anybody got any questions for the councillors, please, from anywhere? No?
So,
Yes.
Sorry, could I just say one other thing? On the Wednesday last week, Councillor Lucannon and I attended East Wretham, where there was an airfield during the war. There were 2 Wellingtons that crashed, and there were Czechoslovakian and Polish aircrew killed, and we attended the service there with the RAFA Association, wasn't it? To pay our respects to them.
Yes. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you. Any other questions? No?
Yeah.
Yes? Thank you. Councillor
Regarding the no more building outside of Brandon, I take it there'll be a lot of infill. They're not saying no to that, I take it.
You're quite right there, Councillor Ridgewell. They're allowing little bits and pieces, but no more than 10 or 15 units, and that certainly won't be any contribution for Section 106 money. The one area they have okayed is on up the Green Road on the right hand side, but the problem is with that there's nobody come forward who wants to develop that part of Brandon. People who want to develop are in the west and not in the east, but there's a big patch does not come under the Stone Curlew jurisdiction. And yeah, there is small brownfield site, and that is all we're going to get until about 2040, I can assure you of that. I hope that's answered your question.
What part is it of the Green Road?
Well, halfway up, quite a big area halfway up.
Opposite the kennels?
Near.
I didn't have a real close look at it, but we were told, all 3 of us were told that is free of Stone Curlew, and it's open to development, but nobody's come forward for development.
Could I?
Councillor Wilson? Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Just also comment on that a large part of where Natural England are coming from is based in EU legislation that has been carried over to us now here, although we've left the EU. One of the things that the government should have been doing was addressing that, and they had always said that they would repeal all of that legislation so that it's not just absorbed into our UK legislation, so that it can all be then looked at again. Now, I heard on the news, and I think it was fairly well hidden for obvious reasons, that because of all the shenanigans the Conservatives have been having of the last few months in Parliament, that the parliamentary timetable has slipped greatly, and that is one of the bits of legislation that they are going to dump and not look at, which we should all be writing to our MP.
Via Australia.
Via Australia, yeah. I mean, we've got a really effective...
But surely, if you dump it, it's to what you would like.
Sorry?
If they dump it, that will be your approval.
Yes.
Because
Why would it be?
If they dump this EU legislation, it will suit your views.
No.
Yes, it will, because
Why?
they'll disregard your Stone Curlew.
No,
Yes, they will.
No, you've got it wrong. That legislation is being followed by Natural England currently, the EU legislation, which is why they're so draconian on Brandon. Please don't reverse it, because you can't. Victor will back me up, and so will Dave Palmer.
And can I just put in here that it was not Natural England that put the axe on what development they tried to do. It was the MOD. If you look back through the files, it was the MOD that finally
What
put
are
the
you
kibosh.
talking about?
The developments that didn't get through outside of Brandon were actually acts by the MOD. If you look through all the...
I'm not talking about past, I'm talking about future.
Excuse
Yeah,
me.
but
We're not talking about, we are trying to answer Councillor Ridgewell's question.
Yeah.
We are not getting it into a discussion about the past, I'm sorry.
No,
So you've
quite.
answered Councillor Ridgewell's question, I think, unless
I
you'd
have.
like to, unless, are you happy with his answer, Councillor
Yeah.
Ridgewell? Yes. Were you going to say something?
Yes, the legislation regarding natural lands has been reviewed by our government in December next year. That's what we got told by one of the officers of West Suffolk Council.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Are you happy, Councillor Ridgewell, with the
Yeah.
answer? Yes. Good. Thank you. Is that to conclude your reports? Thank you very much. Has anybody got any questions for the councillors, please? Anybody? Anybody at all? No? Thank you very much. So we now have the public forum. Would anybody like to raise? Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Sorry about that. Good evening, everyone.
Could I just ask your, as I don't know, would you mind just introducing yourself, please? And saying
Annette
that?
Meadows,
Yes. Thank you.
okay, from Manor House Close.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes, Sunday very, very nice. Very well done to everyone there. Although some of us looked over the wall, though we weren't present at the time. Some of the elderly people find it difficult with mobility scooters and everything else, so we tend to watch over the wall. It was very, very good. I wonder if I may make a suggestion. Your website is really informative, really, really good. Apart from, when you look into the part that is the notice board, you're unable to read in any of it. Some people who are housebound are interested in what's going on, but if you can't read what's on the notice board and they're unable to get up here to have a look, is it possible to do something with that? I know on some websites they have like a magnifier which you can click on and magnify what you see on there. Is that possible at all?
Have you gone further down? There's a picture of the notice board,
Yeah.
and underneath there's a gallery of photographs. When you click on each photograph, it brings the photo up a bit larger.
The actual pages that are on the notice board?
The notice board is just a picture.
Yeah.
If you scroll further down the page, there are pictures
And it
of
does
the
bring it up.
notices. You click on each picture and it makes it a bit larger.
Oh, lovely. Thank you for that. Sorry about
Yes,
that.
thank you. Thank you. Councillor
Thank
Band?
you.
Well, there's another answer to that as well. On almost any browser you'll use, if you go to view, hit the view tab at the top, it will give you the chance to zoom in.
Oh, right. Thank you for that.
And do it repeatedly and it brings it right up.
Oh, thank you.
Councillor
for
Moore?
that information.
Thank you. Councillor Moore?
Yes, I know Councillor Palmer was looking into the blood situation in Brandon, where that can be taken, where it can't be taken. Another thing I'd just like to draw attention to is the two chemists. It appears now we only have one person in there who can give out the prescriptions, but what seems to be happening is, especially between the chemists, they seem to be just shutting when they think fit, and you get a notice on the door when you query it, well, we haven't got one up here, we've had to go down the bottom. Well, now this is going on all the while, and people are now starting to get aggravated. People sat in, so there was a couple sat in here the other day for their prescriptions. 48 minutes they were kept in there. Now surely this is not right. And I also know from stuff which they order, especially from one within my own family, which is a current every month order without fail. Every time we go in for it, there's stuff missing, and all you get is no response. Now, you're told now you must not get upset with them. Well, you know, people are starting to get upset, and you can't blame them because, you know, I mean, when you get a message to go down and get your prescriptions, you get down there and find they're shut. You can't go down that one and get it from that one because they don't they're both boats, but they don't interact with each other. And I wonder if there's any way we could, through the council, sort of this be brought up to them.
I think it's it's not a matter for Brandon Town Council, of course. Is it a matter that's any... Sorry?
NHS.
Yes, is it a matter, there's an organisation called Health Watch, I understand, is that do the councillors have any contact with such organisations?
Oh.
Regarding, yes.
Can I understand what you're saying, and I've heard from several people the same complaint. I changed over to Pharmacy to You, and because I have a regular prescription, and quite frankly, I get swamped. They're even taking the postal strikes into consideration, and you get a reminder to reorder. It's really, really excellent. If you have that sort of prescription and you can use them, I recommend it.
Oh yeah, I'm not necessarily talking about my side of things, I'm talking about some of the general public, you know.
Yeah,
meaning,
well, perhaps they need to be directed to something like that.
What was it called?
Pharmacy to You, isn't it?
Pharmacy to You.
To
And
You.
I can vouch for how good they are as well.
Mm. Can we put something on the website?
I was going to say that.
Yeah, I was going to say that's
Free advert.
Yes.
Dare we?
Well, why not?
You put a notice on the website. notice on the page.
Well, we can put
No.
other services are available.
It's difficult though. I don't think there's anyone who can do anything.
Oh, well,
I'm
it's
sure-
Pharmacy 2 with a number 2.
With a number, yes, it's
Yeah.
Pharmacy and 2.
Yeah.
I'm sure I had something through the letterbox during the week from Royal Mail that said they will deliver your
I think
prescriptions
you're
too.
right. I think you're
Yeah.
right. I think there is something.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But there's
But they're on
various
strike, aren't they?
other services that will deliver your prescriptions to your house on time and blah de blah.
I can only speak about Pharmacy to You, and they are first class.
well, perhaps we could do something on the website or something like that, could we?
Yeah, should we have a...
Because I mean,
Would that be all right?
you've got a lot
Do we
of...
have to vote on that?
No, just stick it on.
I suggest that...
NHS director, and there's a whole load of
Yes, I think there are.
Lloyds and that.
Yeah.
Councillor Whiteman?
It's all well and good, everyone here saying that they can't get their prescriptions. But you've all just automatically just said, let's put another company on our website without taking into consideration 2 companies that are local already.
I agree.
So I think it should go to a vote personally. No, I'm all for helping people get a prescription because it's a serious matter. But I'm just sat there and everyone's like, yeah, put this on the website and there's Boots, and someone actually just said, Boots won't like it. It's not exactly nice now, is it? I know if I was a company owner or work, I'd be like, wow.
I think,
Councillor Barrett, yes?
well, I think what was said, Councillor Moore, to pass that on to his whoever's questioning. Putting it on the website came later. I didn't necessarily agree with that.
No.
Well, we can put it on next month's agenda and to
I
discuss
think
it
basically it's the
properly.
point between they're both Boots chemists and they haven't got 2 pharmacists, or they're not bothering to have 2 pharmacists, and they seem just to when they think they shut it down and they go down the bottom, and then some people come from round the area for the prescriptions and find the place shut. Well, you know, what do people do?
I mean, I do feel for it. It's the same with the veterinary practice. As you're all aware, I'm a dog handler and I want to take my dogs to a local vet, but they haven't got any, so we have to go to Thetford. But I haven't asked the council to advertise another company. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to put.
Well, you've got
across.
Bedstone, you've got the Bedstone there.
That's what I'm talking about.
We can put
There's
something
only one
on
vet
there.
in Brandon and they don't have.
Only one vet in Brandon, yeah.
Might I suggest, Councillor Whiteman, that you put it on for the agenda for next month? It can't be voted on in this meeting because it's not on the agenda, but if you put it on for next month, we can discuss it and vote on it.
It's not really, it's not for them.
Voting matter. Can I, in conclusion then, suggest that we can say in a very roundabout way, say that this matter has been brought to the attention of Brandon Town Council. It's not a Brandon Town Council matter in any way, however it's been brought to our attention, and an alternative might be to seek other companies who deliver pharmacy.
Or
then,
if you've got problems, talk to your local councillor.
well, yes, that's true. Because we would have information as to what companies they can contact. Yes, fine. That way we are not promoting anybody.
No.
We are merely suggesting that people have had problems. We're not even criticising Boots by doing that either.
No.
So happy with that? Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh,
Thank you. We've got, right, next point.
Well, if you finish.
Yes, it's,
Public forum.
sorry?
Sorry, we're still in the public forum. aren't
We are still in the public forum. I'm just going to ask if anybody else wishes to speak. Anybody else wishes to comment about any matters that have come to light? No? So our next point is correspondence. We have in our pack something from Brandon in Bloom requesting they would like to plant the corner of Beaver Lane. Now, actually, where I understand from the clerk, it's actually going to be at by George Street and not where I would think Beaver Lane is.
It's Berry Road.
It's Berry Road, yes. Between George Street and the telephone exchange. Right. Just so we're clear where it might going to be.
Excuse me, sir. Haven't we got to restart the meeting?
Oh,
Sorry.
yes.
No,
Beg your pardon?
Sorry, Madam Chair.
No, I did tell you I need guidance. Thank you.
Bang your gavel.
I'll go back. Sorry. Thank you.
Sorry.
Agenda number 9.
Could I restart the public meeting? Do I need a proposal?
No, just bang the gavel, that's it.
Okay, thank you. Sorry. I did warn you I didn't know what I was doing. Sorry. So back to Brandon in Bloom then. And anyway, Councillor Huntington.
I'm just a bit concerned about the height of some of the plants and shrubs, and will it cause any, be in the sight line of traffic of any sort? I'm just not sure. It's quite difficult coming out of George Street.
It is.
And that was all if it was sort of low, that's the only comment I can make.
Councillor White.
I say here the plants won't be any taller than 6 feet. And
Rolling 6 feet.
it said the plants would not be any taller than 6 feet, and no trees or shrubs would be included in this scheme. Also goes on to say that Suffolk Highways and not West Suffolk. It has been noted that this area is actually Suffolk Highways, so I'm assuming they've approached Suffolk Highways in relation to it.
It's because they told them that they
Yeah, so if they haven't got a problem with it, I wouldn't suggest.
I think Councillor Whitman was the next actually.
Thank you. Yes, I'm all in favour of it. You only have to look around the town and see what Brandon in Bloom has done to other areas, completely transformed things and made them from litter-strewn scrub bush into really, really beautiful displays. As Councillor Whiteman pointed out, they're not planning anything.
Can I have a conversation at the bottom of the table, Chair?
No, we're just. Are they discussing the?
Well, they can't have a conversation while he's talking, can they?
Excuse me, right? Carry on. Would you like to, have you finished, Councillor Whitman?
No, I haven't.
Would you like to carry on then, please?
I don't like talking over people. You should be paying attention.
Enough, please. Just carry on.
Right. As Councillor Whiteman has said in here, they do not plan anything over 6 foot, and there will be no shrubs or bushes or trees. So I don't think the visibility thing would be a problem. And Suffolk Highways, I take it, will be consulted, and they will give their proposals as well. So I have no problems with this at all. It's just another example of Brandon in Bloom doing a wonderful job in our fine town. Thank you. I fully support it.
Councillor Band?
No, that's right. I'm just worried about. I mean, it's a difficult turning to see what you're doing with that wall there already. If you make the visibility any worse, it's a dangerous place to get out of. I mean, talking about up to 6 feet. Your eye line is lower than that when you're sitting in the driving seat.
Yes. Yes?
Can I just add, councillors, that I have actually raised this with them, and the response I got was that they would keep the taller shrubs to the end where the telephone exchange is, so it would sort of taper down towards this end.
Councillor White?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the picture here at the bottom here of the proposed area. You can obviously see there are shrubs already situated there. The way the road is elevated, I know it is a nightmare. I understand what other councillors are saying that is. I've seen multiple people come out and nearly hit someone, but I think that's just the design flaw anyway. I don't think they're not going to be restricted any more by what the area already restricts them because of the path. So they're not actually coming in. You've got the pathway there, which the actual junction comes straight up to it. And going back on what I said here, it actually says planting less, like in relation to what Graham just said in their notes here. It says less than 3 feet, and they took into consideration everything in relation to that corner. So I don't actually see any problem with this, and considering there's large shrubs already there, I feel that it's all good.
Right.
Personally.
Councillor Mechanic?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, I mean, Rachel Sobiechowska, who's the lead person on this, is extremely safety conscious. We've had no issues with the friendly bench, we've had no issues with the wedge, and when you stop on that junction and you look right-handed, if there's some shrubs on that small piece of ground, they will not affect the visibility. And I have declared an interest in this, and I'm one of the volunteers, and I can give the council an assurance that that will not restrict visibility on that junction. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Any other comments? Yeah.
Yeah, this
Oh.
one. It's already planted with a lot of daffodils, isn't it?
Sorry?
It's already planted with a lot of bulbs.
Yes,
already.
and I think it's got crocuses. I seem to vaguely remember being on there, yes. I'd like to comment, actually. As I live in George Street and I'm constantly coming out of George Street, I actually don't think the shrubs should be there. I can't see, as you've said, I see people coming out there. You can't see past the shrubs as it is. And I have seen people come out with cars coming just at the junction to go up the Bury Road. So if it was down to me, I'm afraid, in terms of visibility, I'd actually get rid of the shrubs because, as I say, I can't see. You have to go quite a long way in actually to see them. So, but this is not something we're down to vote on. It says it's just correspondence. So I don't know if we have a final conclusion on our... Sorry, Councillor Henderson, sorry.
Could we just suggest that they keep the, whatever they plant, and I'm sure it will look lovely, low?
Yes. Do you want to stipulate size? No?
No, I think that's...
No? Fine.
It's less
Leave that
for
to
them.
Rachel.
Okay, fine.
Madam Chair, if we could just make a recommendation that we do not object to the horticulture work down there as long as it doesn't affect the visibility.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Happy with
That
that?
sounds fair.
Because Suffolk Highways will want an opinion from Brandon Town Council.
Yes.
So that will be your opinion, or our opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Is everybody happy with that conclusion as our comment? Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you. The next continuing correspondence, we have a letter from Reverend Dennis Coburn that Graham is going to read out, please.
Received the other day. I'll read verbatim. It says, Dear Town Councillors, at the Church Institute we encountered some issues with our flint wall after removing some ivy. We immediately erected a safety precaution supplied by BTC to aid in public safety as the wall backs onto Victoria Avenue. We've also undertaken remedial work to shore up the wall until after the frost when we commenced lime mortar work. Someone felt the need to remove it and throw it over the wall back into our car park and has persisted in doing so. After checking our cameras, I am now asking that Councillor Lucanik cease and desist from removing safety equipment, including flint and ivy, from Victoria Avenue and throwing it onto our property. This is highly irregular behaviour. I am unable to attend the next council meeting, so please use this as correspondence in your agenda.
Yeah, I would like to comment on that.
Yes.
The safety fencing and the metal stakes were in the avenue. I assumed that they belonged to the Church Institute because they were and I put them over the wall, and in my opinion, the safety fencing and the metal stakes belong to the Church Institute. I don't think you should have rubbish laying in the avenue. I think that's the wrong place for plastic safety fencing. And it wasn't erected, it was rolled up in a ball.
Any further comments?
Would it be possible to see the footage of councillors at the probably
Well, he
next
hasn't
meeting?
supplied the footage.
Sorry?
He has not supplied the footage, and he's not unable to come, as you saw, as I understand from that letter. So,
So I was making an allegation in relation to another councillor member. I strongly suggest that if they submit evidence in relation to
I
that.
will ask him.
Thank you.
yes, that will be for the next meeting then. Any other comments? No? Thank you. Well,
No more correspondence.
no more correspondence, thank you. So next point 10 is the accounts. To approve the accounts for October 2022.
Propose.
Second.
Yeah. Thank you, councillors. Vote.
Yes, I'm sorry, vote. Vote, please. For the accounts, sorry.
Councillor Moore?
You go vote for the accounts?
I'm staying.
Okay.
Yeah.
No figures? Any comments, please? Have you had a chance to look at them?
What, the accounts?
Well, it's just
Accounts?
approval.
Yes, approval?
We've
Yes.
done it, haven't we?
We've done-
We've
yes.
approved them.
Approving it.
Okay.
We're not.
Sorry,
comment.
beg your pardon.
Yeah.
Thank you, I hope to get again used to.
Might I just ask one thing?
They've been approved.
Yeah, I know.
Too late.
Too late?
No, I'm just going to ask something. So, we've got 3 items here regarding the mower being repaired.
Yes.
Is there quite a bit more life out of the mower that we've got now? Because naturally the mower gets used quite a lot by the town keepers.
Yeah.
Is there quite a bit more life, or should we be looking in the precept of purchasing a new lawnmower as we're
We've got
spending a lot of
savings.
money in repairing?
We've got savings that we're putting aside each preset period for a replacement mower.
Point of order, could this be on the agenda for next time? We've already approved those.
Yeah.
those accounts.
We have.
I wasn't discussing about the.
I will put it as a point to discuss mowers.
Right, ready?
Hang on. Mowers. Okay.
Ready? Next point 11, to receive income and expenditure statement against budget for September 2022. Do we do anything with that? Do we vote on it or anything? Or
Just to receive it.
Okay.
Received.
All received?
Received.
Thank you, councillors.
Over and out.
Thank you. Right, point
10-4.
next is grant application, a discussion to consider S137 grant from Zebra's Children and Adults Charity. We have received an application, which should be in your pack. And, sorry, we need a proposer and a seconder.
I propose that we reject it.
What happens then? What do we do? What's the procedure? Do we propose that we accept the grant, or do we propose that we're going to discuss it?
We're proposing that we.
Well, I'll second it so that then we can discuss it.
No, Penny's already said
Oh, she said it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll discuss it then.
Yes.
Yeah, but I propose that we reject it. Right, this charity, children's charity, works in North London, all of Suffolk, and then they say mainly Brandon and surrounding areas. Whatever we give them would be so watered down, if any of it was ever spent in Brandon, that it may as well not exist. Furthermore, from what they do, there are many, many organisations in Brandon that we could give money to directly that would benefit the people and children of Brandon directly and not be watered down by some North London, Suffolk and surrounding areas. So I wholeheartedly disagree with giving money to this charity.
Do you know about what we're doing?
Have you come to apply?
Have you heard, sorry.
Or have you come to make your case, have you?
Yeah.
Would you like to, please?
Yeah, please. Yeah, my name's Andy. I'm originally from North London, as Councillor Whittam has said. Well, we know each other from outside anyway, as walking dogs. Basically, I'm one of the co-founders of the charity, and we've still got, we have got lots of funding, but that's restricted to the North London area. The funding we're looking for, we've already got 30 families that we're supporting in Brandon and surrounding areas as well as Thetford town. 15 of those families are in Brandon, and as Councillor Whittam said earlier, this is the deprived area. They need all the support they can get. Today I've delivered to 17 families, tomorrow I'll deliver to a further 15. You know, this is a big project, and we're doing a lot of good work we're basically going to replicate what we're doing in Enfield in this area and make a difference.
Go and look at one.
Yeah, sure. Anyone like to see it?
Do you only do special educational needs and disabled?
Mainly, yeah. That's what we're
Yeah.
charities for.
Okay.
Can I pass one of these round?
I've seen one.
I'd like to.
Yes, you want. Sorry.
Yeah. Thank you.
I know, because when you said perhaps come along, I wanted people to perhaps see my...
Yes, well, let's yes. Right.
Just so that we're not just any old charity asking for a little bit of funding. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Councillor Levington?
We do have Church Institute, Harvest Centre, that are doing a magnificent job. I feel that we should be supporting them, they're local, and they certainly will provide, they're making a provision. I am concerned, as Councillor Whittam said, you know, that this is not necessarily going to just go into Brandon. You know, you mentioned Thetford even. No, we only support Brandon. That's all we can afford to support. I do agree people need help, but we have certainly the Church Institute and Harvest Centre alone have been doing a magnificent job. So I rather agree with Councillor Whittam.
Councillor Whittam?
You say, so as you just heard, there's other organisations that are doing the same.
Yeah.
You just say
There's a bit of a difference.
You just said there was 15 families in Brandon that you're looking after.
15 families in Brandon. It's basically half of our
And how much of that 500 heads towards those 15 families?
Well, that's going to be tricky to work out.
Roughly. Would that cover 15 families or not? Wouldn't even touch it, would it?
It's hard. We're spending about £100 a week at the moment. And we've got a budget to start with of 500. So that's, we're spending over and using some of our budget from Enfield to fill in the difference.
And then you're approaching other councils as well, such as Thetford.
We haven't as of yet, no.
Right.
So we just thought, because we live here, so we moved to Brandon.
Right.
As a family.
So you're trying to make this your base for this?
Basically, yeah. We want to replicate what we've done in Enfield, so we know it works in this area.
Of course, yeah.
And we know we can make a difference, that's the thing.
I stand for it. I mean, it's £500, it's nothing, and if they've got 15 families in
I'm
Brandon,
doing
then they're
the
supporting.
deliveries myself.
15 families already in Brandon, obviously they're touching on the basis where other institutes can't. So
We're delivering, that's the difference as well.
No, I think anyone can access Harvest Centre and Church Institute.
what I'm saying is he's already, like the gentleman just said, there's 15
Some people can't get
families
out,
here
that's the problem.
that he's
We're
already touching
They
in Brandon.
they really do a good job.
I think it's good. I think it's personally good to have more than one. If Church Institute's doing it, I don't see why Zebra Children and Adult Charity can't. And it's £500. If this doesn't go ahead, come see me personally, and I'll go ahead from the company. Right.
Councillor Whittam?
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it does bother me the same as Councillor Etherington that we're crossing boundaries where our money could go, like into Thetford and out of the town area, especially when a couple of years ago during the COVID thing we refused the grant to the Harvest Centre because they were in Norfolk, and this council did that because they were in Norfolk. And I'm sure most people around this table will remember that. But we did give extensively to the Church Institute, and I'm afraid that if these people were to be guided to the Good Reverend Coburn's, Reverence Coburn, should I say. I'm sure that they can arrange delivery because they certainly did during the pandemic. As did the British Legion.
Yeah.
I'm all in favour, and yes, you're absolutely right, Councillor Whiteman. It would be lovely, but it does cross out of our area.
I'm trying to say, looking at their accounts, they're not doing badly.
No, I agree. Councillor
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, I did have a look at their accounts, and their general funds, as from February this year, stood at £42,700. If we go back 6 months, when our very own Heritage Centre asked for £400, it was refused because they had £9,000 in saving. Do we use the same criteria? I don't know. But what I will say is I'm minded not to vote for this, but what I will do, if Whiteman is prepared to come in with me, if it doesn't go through, I'm prepared to donate half. I'm a chairman of the Brandon Polish Community Group, and I would donate half to this cause. But as I said, I'm minded to vote against it as a council because we are committed to the two food charities in Brandon at the moment. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Councillor Whittam?
That's an excellent idea, Councillor Lukanowicz. I can't see that we as a town council can approve it, but if Councillor Whiteman and Councillor Lukanowicz are going to give, I will certainly go in, and that would split it into thirds, and they will get their 500, and I'm quite happy to pay that out of my own pocket.
Any further comments? Yes.
I'd like to add that we've gave a lot more money for a lot less cause. This council has. Just putting that out there.
Any further comments? My comment would be is that I feel after looking at these accounts that they are quite a wealthy charity compared to some of the other charities that we support, as according to Councillor Canick. So I'm afraid that would be my view, and that £500 amongst the income they have, it would be completely lost. And as other councillors have pointed out in summary, is that it wouldn't necessarily go to just to the people of Brandon. And I feel if you're dealing with that number of families, £500 would be kind of lost really amongst their income. So that would be my view. So you proposed to reject it, didn't you?
I did.
Did you have a second of it?
I did.
So are we going to, how's it work?
We need to vote to approve or decline.
Approve of Councillor.
Well, no, the vote is for
or
declining.
Yes.
So
yes.
you can either vote to decline or abstain.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
So
vote, please. Should we vote?
For?
Yes.
For declining, we are.
No, for approving the grant or declining the grant. So it's for the grant or against the grant.
that's not what I
No, that
proposed.
isn't what Councillor Whittam proposed, though. That was not.
You can't change it at this stage, Graham.
The proposal was from Councillor Whittam that we reject the application.
Okay.
That was your proposal, as I understand it.
It is, and that's what was seconded.
And that's what Councillor Hetherington seconded.
Okay.
So if that's a proposal to reject the application, then we then vote for that proposal.
Right. Okay.
So we're proposing for that's to reject the application.
Okay.
So you count and hands again, please.
1, 2, 3.
And against.
1. Do you abstain?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming.
Could I just say, Chair, if Councillor Whiteman would like to coordinate with with the gentleman, and we will make sure he gets his £500 between the three of us out of our own pockets.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. Point 13, to note minutes of events committee meeting held on the 12th of October 2022.
Noted.
Noted. Next one, to note minutes of New Cemetery Working Party Committee held on the 26th of October 2022.
Madam Chair.
Yes. Councillor Mechanic, yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We agreed to dispense of the declarations of interest at the working party, as it's a working party and not a committee. We agreed at that meeting to dispense of the need for declarations of interest. So I would like that minuted, Graham, because that's not
It
minuted.
doesn't matter whether it's a working party or a committee.
Yes, I don't know procedure, I'm sorry.
Well, we agreed not...
There's no difference between a working party and a committee.
Okay, but
you
we
still have it.
But we agreed, that night we agreed...
No, you agreed, but there was no... Yeah, part of the problem before was that it claimed that one of the members had a funeral interest. And that has been proved that he hasn't. So that is what's been dropped, surely.
Well, you were there, tell them.
I was there as well, and I read it that we would not be, because we're not taking a vote on that is binding, because all of it comes to council, it's just proposals to council.
But I think if you read standing orders, you still have to declare an interest, if you have one.
But it was agreed that we would waiver it at that meeting.
You can't waiver standing orders.
Then why wasn't that said at the time, instead of everybody around that table agreeing?
All right, we'll leave it for now, and I'll have a word with Graham in the office. We'll move on. We've got
But
a
that
lot
has
of
to come
business
to
to
full
do.
council if you waiver standing orders.
Well, I presume this matter is to do with pecuniary interest. Is that the problem with this?
Yeah.
This has all been clarified. This has been clarified by consulting lawyer, the legal aspects of the local government association, and as far as I'm concerned, they found it's been resolved, and there's nothing to discuss.
No.
But however,
we wanted to make it easier for one of the people on the committee, one of the people on the working party, because if you've got a pecuniary interest,
of which he does not,
it was nothing to do with the chairman. There's nothing to do with Skinner, right? I'm not going to mention it yet. If you've got a pecuniary interest in a subject, you immediately have to leave the room. That's what happens at West Suffolk. You immediately have to leave the room if you've got pecuniary. And we thought, because it's a working party, and I just mentioned it, that we can dispense of that complication. But listen, I'm prepared to move on, prepared to talk to Graham tomorrow, and as far as I'm concerned, that's a non-event.
Councillor Henderson.
I was just going to say that it's very dangerous to start mucking about with standing orders because we don't know what's coming up. And I think that the clerk should be very, very circumspect over what he decides, agrees with. There should be still interests declared, if there are any. We have solved the problem that started this discussion, and that has been proved that there is no
pecuniary interest.
So I don't see what
are we discussing if it's been solved?
Yes,
I
exactly.
agree, that would be my view of it.
Yeah.
Councillor Whittam?
Thank you. Yeah, Councillor Canniwick brought it up because it ain't in the minutes of the planning committee, and it went through. And don't forget, this is a working party that has lay members as well. It is not the council voting for or against proposals. It is a working party purely and simply that reports to full council, where if there were pecuniary interests, that would come into play. But in the working party, it just gets in the way of the working party working, and that's why it was proposed and accepted at the meeting, and it's not in the minutes.
I just wanted the discussion minute, that's all, whether that's right or whether that was wrong. We had a discussion. I wanted the discussion minuted. That's all.
But it was not voted on or anything,
No.
and it would have to come to full council.
Yeah,
No.
but we'll move on.
We'll move on.
Is that correct, Graham?
What?
Do we need to clarify the situation, or what is your view about procedure?
We closed it off because there was no pecuniary interest.
Yeah.
We put it in writing.
So it's not a matter of discussing it later, it's done, isn't it?
It doesn't affect the working party at all.
No, exactly, because all decisions made by the new cemetery working party come to the full
Full
council
council.
for
But
voting.
before then, you have to declare an interest.
Yes.
You've got one.
Yes, as I understand it, for all committees, you have to declare any interest, either pecuniary or non-pecuniary, at every committee that you attend. Does that clarify the situation? Yes, thank you very much. Right, so we're noting the minutes of the new cemetery working party. Anything else to say about it? No?
No, comes in
Right.
at 15.
Yes, on to point 15, resolution from Councillor Hetherington. Do you talk about your...
The
Well, we need
new
to
cemetery working party looked at
Who's seconding it?
Do we have to propose this or second it? Or?
what this. Yes, we do.
So you're proposing it, are you?
No, I'm not.
Oh. So
Well, I propose it.
You know what you're proposing?
Were you there?
I'm sorry, you'll have
I'm trying to get it moving.
Yeah, I'm trying. I don't know what. So what is the correct procedure, Graham, please?
So somebody can propose it.
Sorry?
I'm not.
Because you're the chairman, is that
Yes,
why
I'm
you're
not proposing it though. You don't have to, just because you put it forward, you don't have to
All right,
propose it.
Okay.
So who's proposing it then?
Can we not discuss it until it's been
No.
proposed then?
No.
Oh, so somebody has to propose it. Well, do you want to propose it then?
Well, I'll propose it then, but you need a seconder then.
Well, I'll second it.
There you go.
Can I second it? Then we can talk about it.
Yes. This was the latest plan that we had, layout for the cemetery, that we had from the architects. It differs from the original, or the previous one, because on this one they moved the car parking down to the south west corner, and in the previous one it was parking along the main, either side of the main roadway. It removed a pathway going off to the side, but otherwise it's much the same. I am proposing that we have a couple of sessions in the old school house and advertise it and invite members of the public to come up and pass their comments or ideas, because I think the very least we should do is to get some sort of idea. We might get nobody, but that's not the point. The point is people need to have an opportunity to put in their penny, because it's this new cemetery in Brandon for all. So, as I say, this is very, very basic. It's not actually the tree, you won't get all the trees necessarily. The final detail, it remains to be seen, but it's the basic layout because we need to get an entranceway and we need to get a road.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Who's first? I didn't see. Councillor Moore?
Could I propose that, in what Penny says, yes, a good idea, but some of us councillors here have never actually been down to the new site, or haven't, we know roughly where it is, but would be a nice idea for the whole council, plus the people who are not on the committee, to go down and see for ourselves.
It's there, free, open to have a look.
You know,
all that's on there is scrub and pipes that are measuring the water depth.
yeah, but basically what I'm saying is, you know, you can look at the plan, but that's
You
a lot.
won't relate it to the what's there,
Exactly.
unfortunately.
It gives you a little idea. I mean,
It won't give you any idea because it's It's just a shrub. It's not even, the posts that are put in are not necessarily in the correct place.
No, they're accurate.
They are.
You can't see them back.
Oh, right. Well,
They won't, most people won't get any idea from it.
Okay.
Okay.
But you can go and have a look anytime. I'll send somebody to show you around.
Take the dog. Take the dog.
Thank you. Might I suggest then that this resolution be deferred from what Councillor Etherington has said? What she wants really is to get this out there so that the public can comment, councillors can comment, which is a very laudable thing to do. It's absolutely necessary, and I mean I would pick up on the fact that I certainly don't approve of the picture of the entrance on this plan, and would expect a much better entrance than a 5-bar gate stuck between a set of ley landers. I think we should defer the council approving this pending the public inquiry, or public having the opportunity, and the councillors around the table to go and have a look and see, and then they'll know what they're talking about.
We've suggested dates for the consultations, haven't we?
24th and 26th.
We need to get a move on though, because we need to get it in for planning, otherwise we will never meet.
No, I appreciate that, but
Councillor White.
Yeah, don't want anyone to take offence to this, but I agree. This cemetery, I'm just going to put it out there, quite frankly, it bores me. It's been a nuisance for the council for quite some time, cost the council quite some money, and we spend an awful lot of time worrying about the dead instead of the living in this town. I agree with Penny. I think we need to move on, get it done, just sign it, get it done, and move on. Then look at it. Once it's done, we can then move on to the younger generation and more in this town, such as people like West Suffolk forgetting about Brandon, speeding, violence, drugs, alcohols, you name it, everything but this. I think we just need to move on with this. That's just my. I didn't want anyone to take offence. I'm just saying that's what I'm saying. That's what I am.
Would you like
I'm
to
sorry,
ask?
but unfortunately there are
Well, she's already had
things
it.
we have to go through.
She's the chairman, she's got up to this point.
But it's been going for over 30 years.
It's a long time and
Yes.
a lot of money.
And if it wasn't for present councils, this one and previous ones, we wouldn't be here, would we?
What this
Councillor-
council does and doesn't do isn't a matter of either or.
I think it is.
Councillor
Thank you, Madam Chair. We've set up a working party to make recommendations to the council. We had a working party and we've done some sterling work. This is not that far out, to be honest with you. The first one was absolutely awful. It had.
Excuse me, can I stop you there? This is the recommendation from the working party. We are not discussing what's happened in the past. This is the current recommendation from the current working party, and this is what
I'm
we
just
agreed.
making a comparison between this and the
No,
work we've done.
we don't need to make a comparison. This is
Okay,
This is based upon.
let me continue,
Yes.
right? Because obviously you're not interested in what's happened in the past.
No.
This is a recommendation by the working party. Now, there's 3 things wrong with this, and we can correct them, and then we could submit it, we could defer it to...
Excuse me, can I stop you again? We are voting on the plan as it stands now. That is what our vote is on today. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
To be fair, Councillor, you're fine to have your opinion. However, the working party, and of which you're part of, this is what we're recommending. You can come along to the sessions that are happening. We have to, I would suggest, and I'll confer to Councillor Hetherington, is that
Well, I want to tell you why it needs to be deferred, right? Don't steal my thunder. Give me the opportunity to speak.
Well, point of order. I have said it should be deferred, and the reason being is because it's going out to public consultation and will change.
I propose we defer it.
How can we change it if the council's already approved that?
Well,
That's what I'm saying.
I just to clarify procedure, as I told you, I haven't done it before. So this is, I would like to say that. So as I understand it, the council has to approve something, so people can then have a view about it, and then we can have another proposal to change it if the public disagree with it.
Sorry, it doesn't
Is that
work
how
that
it
way.
works, Greg?
Doesn't work that way.
It's, well, we've got two views, excuse me, two views happening here.
Councillor Heather, could you explain to me procedure, please?
The proposal was that it was deferred. You can take it, I would suggest we take a vote on deferring it until after the consultation, full stop.
That's it.
Is that what you
That's what I would suggest.
Yes, as you're the chair.
Councillor Vant.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Well, if he agrees, that's
Yes,
all right.
procedure, yes, thank you very much. If that's
I would second that.
It's easy
Thank you. Right, I propose it. Councillor Whittam seconds it. Those in favour?
This
It's
is in
different.
favour to defer.
In favour to defer. Deferred. That makes
That's
sense.
solid.
Against? Abstain?
Yes.
Right. Thank you. Thank you very much.
No.
So I'll leave you to Councillor Headington to organise the
Yes.
public sessions.
Will do.
And that will presumably be advertised on the website so
It
people
will. I will
Yes.
talk to Jackie.
Exactly. So it'll be well advertised so we get as much as possible.
And we'll get something put up on the notice board as well. so
Yes,
they can-
yes, and as much advertising to suggest the public come, please. Yes.
Sorry?
You're going to advertise it so as many people come to comment on it.
Yes, I wouldn't hold my breath.
Councillor Palmer?
Yeah, you remember the last meeting?
Yes.
There was a request for me to ask questions from the cemetery, and we never got to that before the meeting closed.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yes, sorry. So would you like to? Sorry, Councillor Palmer. Would you just say that a bit louder, please?
Yeah, if you remember the last meeting, on the agenda, the meeting closed before the item that I requested to be brought up about the cemetery came to the conclusion, so it was deferred for the next meeting, and that's not on this agenda. Would you think that would be right and proper for me to ask it now or not?
No, that's not on the agenda.
I didn't quite get what you were saying.
Well, last month,
Yeah.
on the agenda, I requested to ask some questions about the new cemetery.
Right.
We never got to that before the meeting closed.
No, we didn't. Right.
So that was put off until the next meeting,
Yeah.
and it's not on this agenda.
That's down to the clerk.
So can I talk about it now or not?
Ask the clerk.
Well, perhaps you should have raised it in a public forum, Dave.
Are there matters that you could raise with us, in the consultation?
Well, just to ask some questions, that's basically all it is.
I'd say go ahead.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not difficult questions, and to be honest, nearly all the questions I'm going to ask, has been put up on our website now, so I mean, just some simple
If Madam
questions.
Chairman agrees,
Yes, I defer to the chairman of the Cemetery Working Party. So yes, if we agree, yes, fine. thank you.
Okay, basically, a simple question like this: an elderly Brandon couple in my West Ward approached me with the following question. We lived in Brandon for most of our lives, and when we are finally laid to rest, we would like to be together in Brandon Cemetery. They go on to say, we've heard that the cemetery is now full up, and the one adjacent to Manor Road is yet to be built. I replied, to the best of my knowledge, the existing cemetery is not full up, and probably has 3 or 4 years before it will be full up.
True.
Okay, so I was pretty much truthful on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So basically, what we want to know is, will the other one be up and ready?
Yes, it will.
That's it.
She says with confidence.
That's a very good answer.
It's got to be. No, it's got to be.
Yes.
It really has.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, let me question here. When will the new cemetery be completed? Probably be in a couple of years.
No, it won't be completed because we can only complete quarters of it because of the ecology. It's in the agreements that we have to develop a quarter at a time.
Yes.
So it won't be complete.
No, it makes sense.
All right.
But
there will be provision.
available before the other one runs out.
Absolutely.
That's the main question.
Yeah.
That is good. I'm glad to know that. The Brandon do on the site is marked out. The entry to the site is off Manor Road. Another ongoing works, one monitoring the water table, so an update on this would be appreciated on the water monitoring.
What, sorry,
Water monitoring.
Yes, it's been
Why do
monitored.
they need to know that?
You don't need to know it, no, you can't.
The water depth is sufficient. We are responsible to ensure that the bodies are buried
We
above
won't
the
be
water
burying
table.
them in water, I can
No.
promise you.
Yeah. Some 8 years ago, the council had a brief archaeological dig on the site, but further work needs to be done before the site can be developed.
No, I explained at our working party, the archaeology is not quite as horrendous as a lot of rumours, but until we've got some sort of idea of a layout to put forward,
Right.
and we think that the archaeology will be done sort of piecemeal as we are doing things, that it'll be looked at there and then, because they have done the whole site.
Okay, so as far as I'm aware, all the archaeology needed to be done was for the entrance to the site and nothing else.
And it'll be the car park and that
And the
area,
car park, because
yeah.
it's right near the...
If that's where the car park is, that will have to be.
Okay. Are there any likely to be problems with the depths of graves for a double barrel?
Yes. Yeah, that's why we've got to develop
Monitor
it
the water.
carefully.
Yes.
That we cannot develop the north side because that will not give double depth.
Yeah.
So that's why we're developing the south side first.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Right? And they will be doubled.
No.
Okay. And the other thing is, very sandy soil, about 5 foot deep.
Yes.
Any chance of the graves collapsing when they...
No, they'll use, Sam can explain it all, but they'll use the proper shuttering.
They have to use shoring.
They have to.
So that's why the graves have got to be bigger.
And more, and the distance between
Yes.
them.
They're 9 foot or 5 foot graves.
Okay, and just two other questions, which are quite easy. Has outline plan permission been gained for the site? And has detailed plan permission been gained for the site? The last one is definitely no. But the first one...
We have outline, we've had outline for, but we have not got detail.
You've got outline.
Yeah, there was outline, wasn't there?
Yes. Sorry. Yes.
But we haven't got detail. This is what we're trying to get.
That's what this is
Councillor
all about,
Palmer.
trying to get the detail.
Okay.
Please? Yes.
Yes, no more questions. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you, Councillor Vance. Sorry,
I'm sorry, but they're not quite right there. My understanding, and Penny will correct me if I'm wrong, is that we actually have full planning permission to have a cemetery there,
Yes.
but the planning department wishes to approve each element that we put in as we go along.
Yes, so
it's not quite
full.
as simple as...
No. No. Everything we put on, like the roads and any building, we're building, has to be put on a application to the planning department.
We've got to clear a number of hurdles before we...
That's why we're completely good.
Okay. Councillor Kenny?
I would just one brief comment. If Councillor Palmer hadn't resigned from the committee or the working party, he would have had all those answers. But he resigned from the committee, working group, for no apparent reason. Thank you, Madam Chair.
I'm sorry, can I just correct you there? It's councillors can sit on whatever committees they like. He has it was agreed between him and Councillor Hetherington as the chairman to answer the questions. Anybody can ask as part of the chair.
And I'm perfectly entitled to make a comment, which
Yes.
I have made.
Fine.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Councillor Richmond?
Yeah, I'm a bit concerned about where we're putting the pedestrian site
Can
for
I-
people crossing. I mean,
Well,
they'll find out things
Can
very
I,
dangerous.
can I suggest
Yes,
you
can
come
I-
along to the consultation?
I'm just pointing it out, that's all.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. I was just going to say, to refer to Councillor Hetherington.
We will, this is what we want to hear,
Yeah, but that's
those sorts of
fine.
things, but I want to contain it on the Thursday or the Saturday morning, because we can't cope with it here.
No.
Because there's
I'm
lots
just
of
pointing it
stuff.
out.
Yes.
To be fair, I allowed Councillor Palmer because he is at West Suffolk. So,
Sorry.
beg your pardon. Sorry.
Can I just sort of say, Who suggested putting the pedestrian site there, the crossing? Because I
Can-
find that...
excuse me, that's a detail, which we just said, it's got to be done through the public consultation,
Yeah.
you can ask questions at the time. I allowed Councillor Palmer because he deals with members of the public of Brandon, and he is a district councillor.
And he missed it last.
And he missed it last time, and
We
I
all
missed
deal
I
with
missed
the
off the
public
event.
in Brandon.
Can I add? Right, okay. I'm on the development control of West Suffolk Council, so I should not be sitting on planning committees for anything. That is what I resigned for, Mr. Mechanic.
Thank you.
Accepted.
Any further comments about it? Anything? Norman? You okay? Anything? Good. So, so we voted on it. So we've on to next topic. So 16 to note minutes of planning committee meeting on the 7th of November. Minutes noted?
Yeah.
Right, point 17, resolution from Councillor Lucanik, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, well, it's self-explanatory, really. There's 2 trees missing in the avenue. We can dedicate one to the Queen and one to the King. I think that'd be quite fitting. The simple reason that that'd be 3 or 4 generations of the royals there. That's named Victoria Avenue. We've got the cages. The cages are 20mm strapping on the cages. You can get plaques 18mm. You can put a little plaque on them. I'm quite prepared to fit them, or the town keepers can fit them. The tree outside number 40 London Road, I don't know whether we had a claim on that, whether we managed to get the details off the police on that, but if we're sensible, the 2 trees could be paid for on that claim. But as I said, the 2 trees are missing. That's a small gesture. They'll stand the test of time. We haven't exactly sort of pushed the boat out for those 2 big occasions, and I'm all for more trees. So I'll propose. Do I have a seconder?
Thank you. Any comments about it?
Yeah.
Yes.
I wholeheartedly agree to put a couple of trees, but not. That's Victoria Avenue, and it was planted for Queen Victoria. And I think to stick 2 in and then put a plaque on one for the King and a plaque on the other for the Queen is a bit naff. I think we should find somewhere to put some trees. I wholeheartedly agree with Councillor Lucanik, but please not replacing the trees in Victoria Avenue.
Yes, any other comments? As I understand from the clerk, if you'd like to comment, Graham, is that these trees need to be replaced anyway. So therefore, that does seem, if they're going to be replaced, it just seems we're just taking advantage of replacing them and putting exactly. So rather than planting them specially, where they're not going to be in a particularly isolated site. So any other comments? Yes.
A question for Graham. Will the trees go in this autumn or winter? And did we have any details on the car, what absolutely wiped out one of the trees and the cages, Graham?
Right, 2 questions there. The trees will go in, yes, to be sourced, but we've been up to earwolves in things, so they will go in. I have tried through the police who attended the road RTC now, isn't it? And they deny all knowledge that they were there, even though they put police tape down the lamppost. So I've been unable to get any information of the vehicle that caused the damage.
Can I suggest you go ahead and get them planted?
Yes.
I could possibly help on that. I will look back through some photographs because I do know I was away in the Palmers at the time, I think, and my son took photos.
What, with the car upside down?
With the car.
Well, if you've got pictures, yeah.
Yeah, so I will look for that. Remind me.
I was going to say, you did well.
Furthermore, did not the Suffolk, the people that replaced the lamppost, did we pay for it, or did that come off of the insurance?
No, that came as highways.
That came as highways.
Yeah.
Well, they surely would have wanted recompense for somebody crashing into it.
You would have thought so, but
When they
Not-
share their information, yeah.
Well, they
I
should
have
do.
approached them and they won't give. The police have got no record of anything happening.
How much do we pay to have a police force?
Yes.
Too
So,
much.
Too much for a chocolate fire guard, yes.
so in conclusion, with regards to this resolution, so we are, our procedure, please, Graham, is we are happy for the trees to be planted, but for them not to be dedicated. Is that the conclusion? And if that's an alternative proposal,
Can we add to that we will look to find somewhere suitable
Yeah.
for Councillor Cannick's good idea to plant a tree in memory of the Queen and one for the King.
No, I think we should vote on it. I think we should vote because you're going to plant. You're planting. It's the plaques. It's the plaques.
Yes,
you have specifically said in your resolution resolves to dedicate 2 trees
Yeah.
in Victoria Avenue, so we cannot use that
Good.
wording.
Okay. Well,
Could-
I'll withdraw the resolution on the condition that the trees will go in.
Mm.
My concern is the trees. My concern is Victoria Avenue.
and then have a resolution on in future to find somewhere suitable where we can do perhaps more than just one tree.
Yeah.
There are lots of nice things we could do, and I wholeheartedly support that.
Well, I'll withdraw the resolution on the condition that the trees will go in this winter. Great.
They will go in.
Right.
Just a comment on that it was mentioned that it would be naff. Already there is at least one tree in that row of limes that is dedicated to somebody other than Queen
Yes.
Victoria.
But it wasn't Queen. It wasn't a member of royalty. Was
Oh
it?
no, not a member of royalty, but yeah, it was just a comment.
It's one thing though. That dedication compared to the,
I mean, we could always rename it.
So is it agreed? Is that what we? Is that?
I'm withdrawing the resolution.
Okay.
yes.
Yes.
So,
It's
that's
withdrawn.
withdrawn.
So
Yes.
move on to 18.
Okay, so 18. So this is a resolution to exclude the public and press for that pursuant to the Public Bodies Admission to Meetings Act 1960, the public and press be excluded from the meeting temporarily due to the confidential nature of the business to be discussed concerning quotes, land, staff, contract.
Proposed.
Second. Vote. We vote?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Does anybody want a